Well, with some new Star Wars out, this can mean only one of two things. Number one, I'm gonna be extremely hyped about it. And number two, the Star Wars collective fandom is probably gonna be really pissed off on Twitter. Or both. Does nothing please you? Obi-Wan Kenobi is now officially available to stream on Disney Plus, all 6 episodes. Of course, it stars Ewan McGregor returning to reprise the role that everybody loved him in the prequels. Speaking of the prequels, this series begins 10 years after the dramatic events of Revenge of the Sith, which is of course where Obi-Wan Kenobi faced his greatest defeat, the downfall and corruption of his best friend and Jedi apprentice Anakin Skywalker. Do I even need to explain what happened to him? Obi-Wan is somewhere in the vicinity. Where is he? Star Wars has had a pretty up and down track record over this past decade. Let's just be honest real quick. For a franchise that seemed so universally beloved, ever since Episode 7 came out, it just felt like there was this gigantic division and polarization of such an iconic product. Sure, there's been some projects that have been put out there over these past 10 years or so that have reminded me why I'm kind of annoyed by Star Wars now. Rogue One being a really nice looking movie with some mostly boring characters aside from a droid. Rise of Skywalker, pretty self-explanatory, it's kind of a mess. But then you also get projects like The Force Awakens and The Mandalorian, which remind you why you loved Star Wars so much. And then projects like Obi-Wan Kenobi come around and remind you why I love Star Wars so much. Obi-Wan Kenobi was awesome. Guys, I'm so giddy saying that, I can't help but smile. I was so excited for this series. Revenge of the Sith is probably the most nostalgic Star Wars film for me. I vividly remember going to one of my neighbor's houses when he was home from the Marine Corps, and he would basically just throw a big barbecue for all of us, and he would play Revenge of the Sith. That was the tradition. And then one of my buddies, Kevin, would just get really into the final duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin. I have the higher ground! You were the chosen one! I gotta calm down, guys. You have no idea. I need to calm down. But joking aside, of course, this is gonna have the amazing production quality you would expect from an off-world project like this. The production design, Deborah Chow's direction, it is so transportive. And all these actors coming in to tell this story was just so amazing to see. Ewan McGregor gives, I believe, one of his best performances in years as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh my god, guys, I loved him. When we first meet him in this series, when we finally catch up with him in that premiere episode, he kind of feels like he's a failure. So he's kind of keeping a low profile. And the showrunners were kind of wanting to tell a story similar to Todd Phillips's Joker in a sense. I don't want to say Obi-Wan Kenobi gets to that level of grit, but I was really fascinated watching Ewan McGregor work in front of the camera. And it was just so amazing seeing him wield that lightsaber again. It was so amazing seeing him use the Force and just say all these over-the-top lines. Oh, it was awesome. Of course, you get the big rematch between him and Hayden Christensen returning to the spotlight once again. And oh my god, the Darth Vader sequences. Darth Vader, in my opinion, though nobody can touch this guy. This is a villain that needs no introduction. Like, if you're watching Empire Strikes Back, you hear that music, dun, 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 dun. Like, you know who it is. You don't even have to look at the screen. You hear that music by John Williams, and you know that Darth Vader's coming. You can take back your Jokers. You can take back your Hannibal Lecter. Darth Vader is the most iconic cinematic villain ever. And oh my god, seeing all the badass sequences with Darth Vader in this just gave me shivers up and down my spine. And yes, in case you're wondering, James Earl Jones is voicing Darth Vader at 91 years old. And he still sounds just as menacing as he was in 1977 when he first played the part. And Hayden Christensen, when you do see him in frame, and I'm not gonna spoil anything obviously, but it's not just like you're just hearing James Earl Jones the whole time. Hayden Christensen really got a bad rap from the prequels, I feel like. I mean, yeah, Attack of the Clones, I still don't like that movie. He's very over the top in it. And to an extent, Revenge of the Sith does have some pretty heinous acting moments from him, but boy howdy did he redeem himself or what. I thought he was fantastic in this series, along with Ewan McGregor. Their chemistry together, once again, is spectacular. And the action sequences, for the most part, the one-on-one duels are awesome. Darth Vader, anytime he's in an action sequence, is awesome. There is one sequence towards the end of episode 5 where he pulls a gigantic object out of the sky, and I was sitting there like, Darth Vader's turning into Thanos right now, isn't he? Like, if you watch the series week by week, you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, for the most part, the action in Obi-Wan Kenobi is handled extremely well. The hand-to-hand combat is really, really fierce. I will say there were a couple of points where it did feel like the fights were a little bit too choreographed as opposed to just like, oh, we're going for it. We're trying to kill each other. But the thing that pleasantly surprised me the most about Obi-Wan Kenobi is just how much it was able to surprise me. Sure, you can kind of get a guess of where the series is going based on what happens in that original trilogy going into 1983, but this series has a couple of plot twists that I really did not see coming, and that's what made Empire Strikes Back so great. The I am your father plot twist. It's the most famous plot twist in cinema history. And there's something in episode 5 that harkens back to that, involving a brand new character played by Moses Ingram, who, by the way, is freaking spectacular. Moses Ingram was such a badass in this series. She was a brand new villain. She had so much poise in front of the camera. She handles the lightsaber extremely well, and she came off incredibly menacing. I loved her character. Matter of fact, all the new characters they introduce in this series are really, really cool. There's a character named Harja who basically poses as a Jedi, and he is perfectly cast in the form of Kumail Nanjiani, who I'm so happy for this guy. I'm sure he was living the dream on this set. Harja is basically like the Gilderoy Lockhart of the Star Wars universe. Can't believe I just made a cross-reference between Chamber of Secrets and this. Only I would do that. There's also a badass character named Roken, who's kind of like your fixer-upper. He's a construction worker, basically. He's played by O'Shea Jackson Jr. He's really good in the series, too. I mean, everybody involved in it is. Joel Edgerton, extremely good in this. There is not a single actor in Obi-Wan Kenobi that I feel like sticks out like a sore thumb. One thing I will say about this series, though, before I give you guys my grade, I don't want to say this is necessarily a flaw, because obviously I love this series. I think it's easily right up there with The Mandalorian in terms of original Star Wars content for Disney+. But Deborah Chow's direction was extremely interesting. She took this series and this character on a journey that I never would have expected. Obi-Wan Kenobi's mission in this series almost feels like it comes out of left field. And I gotta tell you, it took me at least 3 or 4 episodes for me to really get into, like, yes, this is what he's doing. This is what his goal is. Sure, ultimately the end game, what we really want to see, the rematch between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader after Revenge of the Sith, you get that. And it's awesome. The journey to get there, the stuff that fills in between, I don't want to really spoil anything about, like, what it is or what Obi-Wan Kenobi's ultimate objective is. But I don't know, it just took me a bit to get used to. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it like this is a flaw or a bad thing about Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I strongly encourage you, if you guys are hardcore fans of Star Wars and you guys have been clamoring for more good content, if you guys are especially fans of the prequels, and if you thought Revenge of the Sith was a great film, I think you're gonna love Obi-Wan Kenobi. Some really good direction, some awesome Star Wars action, a really fascinating character study for Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's some really fascinating character study moments in there for Darth Vader and some of these new characters. And man, as a hardcore Star Wars fan, this made me happy. I'm gonna give Obi-Wan Kenobi an A. Will there be moments that will piss off Star Wars fans? Of course. I can't control everybody in the Star Wars fan collective. Are there moments of fan service to placate that? Absolutely. But I was just sitting there thinking, man, I'm watching a new installment in this prequel Skywalker saga, essentially. And it's really damn well made. I cannot wait to see what else Deborah Chow brings to the table. And if this was Ewan McGregor's last hurrah as Obi-Wan Kenobi, man, did he knock it out of the park. But folks, Let me know what you thought of Obi-Wan Kenobi all down there in the nifty comment section below. Is this your favorite prequel of the Star Wars Skywalker saga, if you will? Is this your favorite Disney Plus series to hit for Star Wars? Guys, you can answer all these questions for me and much, much more. You can go ahead and start a further discussion down in the comment section below. Obviously, I love making these videos. Getting to interact with you guys makes it all the more fun, though. If there are any new viewers who would love to join in on the party, welcome, welcome, welcome you are. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell right next to it, and what the hey, throw this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as well. All these things are tremendous help to continue to grow this community. And as always, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very, very soon. Guys, please bear with me as I upload these reviews for the Black Phone, Elvis, etc. I'm going to be opening up a show actually this weekend where I'm at, so please be patient with me. That's going to be a lot of fun. Thor Love and Thunder comes out on July 8th. I cannot wait to talk about that. And I think starting in the month of July, some of you have been asking for it for a long time, and I think it's about time I got that kick-started. We're going to go ahead and kick off my next retro playlist here on my channel in the build-up to Rings of Power coming out on Amazon. Yep, I'm going to be talking about all 3 Lord of the Rings films and all 3 Hobbit films. That's going to be a lot of fun, guys. It's going to be an absolutely epic, epic time, and I can't wait to share it all with you guys. Y'all are the best. Thank you all again for your support, and with all that being said, Back Talk, commence!